I am a futurist, and that means I spend a lot of time thinking about, writing about, and speaking about the future. And when I speak about the future, I speak all around the world. And I'm so enthusiastic about it that I tend to speak for an hour and a half to 3 hours. So this is a real disciplined effort for me. So let me get right to it. A lot of humans have a very odd reaction to change. Most humans I meet are kind of resistant or unsettled by it. A lot of other humans want to embrace it, but don't know what they're embracing. They don't know the uncertainty that they're embracing. So what I want to do here is to give you the high-level flows that will, and for the next 20 years, shape and form all the change that humanity is going to experience. Trends are kind of sub-outcroppings of these flows. So whenever you see a trend, you might be able to relate it up to these flows I'm going to share with you. Now, it is a wonderful, transformative time to be alive. We obviously live in an inflection point in history. We're in a new century. We're in a new age, the shift age, a name I've coined and I'll describe to you briefly in a few minutes. And we're in a new decade, the transformation decade. Again, definition forthcoming. But we are also a little more than 1% into this new millennium. Now, the last time that sentence could be said was the year 1011. Depth of the Dark Ages in Europe. Vikings ruled the seas. If you will accept an easy premise to accept right now, that the speed of change right here, right now, today, is 10 times faster than 1011, then all the change that humanity has experienced in the last millennium will be the amount of change we experience in the next 100 years. If you accept from this futurist the probable argument that the speed of change is 100 times faster today than it was in 1011 in the depth of the Dark Ages in Europe, then all the change of the last 1,000 years that we, humanity, have experienced will be the amount of change we will experience in the next 10 years. Now, that may come up against some of the laws of physics that people who follow me on the stage might refute with me, but somewhere between 10 and 100 times speed of change. So all of the change of the last 1,000 years, we are going to experience between the next 10 and 100 years. So, what is the shift age? And what are the three fundamental forces that have, are, and will, for I'd say the next 15 years, reorganize and reshape humanity? The first is this flow to global. We're obviously getting organized around all of us. The global economy, the macro. There's no larger economic unit than all of us. But it's beyond that. We are in the global stage of human evolution. We've gone from family to tribe to village to city-state to nation-state. Our only remaining boundaries for now are planetary. So we are in the global stage of human evolution, and that means that the word globalization is no longer just an economic term. It is the term describing what will course through all aspects of human society for the next 15 years. So we're getting organized around this flow to the global. At the same time, we're getting organized around this flow to the individual. Now, one of the reasons this has happened is over the last 30 to 40 years, there's been this explosion of choice. We have more choice in every aspect of our life than we did 30 or 40 years ago. And when that happens, something very significant occurs. The power moves from the producer to the consumer, from the institution to the individual. So we as individuals have more power than individuals have ever had in human history. If you grew up 20, 30, 40 years ago in a city that, say, had 2 newspapers and 3 television stations, that was your choice for information. Now, if you're connected to the internet, it's unlimited choice. So unlimited choice brings all the power to the individual. So we're getting organized around the macro and the micro. There is no smaller economic unit than the individual. And both of these forces are amplified, but what I will submit to you is the single most powerful flow and force on the planet today, which is the accelerated electronic connectedness of humanity.